So Beth, I hear that you've been using approaches similar to those that are in the Celebrating Families book for a long time. Mm-hmm. Could you tell us a bit about that, please?
Sure. I have two boys, Ian and Ben, and they are now 19 and 16, and they get along very well, but when they were younger, as most siblings, there were good days and bad days, and they were, gosh, this must have been 8, maybe 10 years ago, so they were pretty little. They were fighting a lot in the house, and we have mealtime, dinner time at home every night. That was an important ritual for us and our family, and it was getting so bad that nobody wanted to be at the dinner table together. You know, they, and then I remember one evening, the breaking point for me was one day my younger son said to me, "Mom, he's looking at me." and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just over the top. So in America, we have, grew up with a store named Kmart, and they have this blue light special. So the idea came to me based on something I'd actually read in a magazine, a letter from another parent who had this idea of a special plate at the dinner table. And I thought, well, I don't have a blue light and I don't have a special plate, but I do have a blue plate. So I'd say, well, I'll make a blue plate special. So I have white dinner plates and blue dinner plates. So that evening when I was setting the table for dinner, I put a blue plate in front of my youngest son. And I was very nervous, but I sat down at the dinner table and everyone sat down and looked around and, you know, what's this? And I said, I'm starting a new tradition in our family, and whoever has the blue plate, everyone else around the table must tell them something that they appreciate about that person that week. Right. So of course, my husband and my two boys rolled their eyes and was like, oh my gosh, what are you trying to do to us now? But I stuck with it and I said, we're going to give it a try. So we did it that night, and it was a little awkward, but I did it every night, and got a few more rolled eyes for about a week. But we've been doing that every night in our home for about 8 to 10 years.
Wonderful.
And now that the boys are older, of course, they're out and about, so sometimes we are not able to do it. But what I saw happening, which as a mother was truly amazing, is I saw my boys telling each other what they loved and appreciated about them being brothers. My children being able to tell me what they appreciate about me as their mother or their dad. And for my husband and I to be able to tell our children on a regular basis what we appreciated that they did, something simple or what we admire about them that particular week, has just been a joy, you know, every night, every week for the last 8 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I saw that it do for my boys is it helped them build confidence in themselves and help them learn how to accept a compliment and to give a compliment and not to stumble over that when they receive a compliment from someone now. So that's been really helpful. And when I was talking to my younger son just earlier this week, and I asked him about it. I said, do you remember when we started doing this? And as a 16-year-old teenage boy would say, he goes, oh yeah, I kind of remember. I don't know really why we started. I think it's because, you know, Ian and I were being lame at the table and we weren't talking to each other. And I asked him, well, what's it like to hear those appreciations? And he said, you know, it feels really good. It feels good to hear people saying good things about me. And I asked him, what does it feel like when we forget? Because sometimes we forget, you know, that the blue plate is on the table, but we forget to build in that appreciation. And you always know it because whoever has the blue plate, all of a sudden they'll start saying, or see what color my plate is. So, you know, it's very clear to all of us, not just my boys, but how important that has become to our families to make sure that we're getting that praise from each other and remembering that.
That's really powerful.
It's been wonderful, and they are, you know, they're terrific kids, and they're getting older, and they'll be moving on someday, soon, not too soon, I hope. But I'm certainly going to miss that. So I'm going to have to come up with a new diet idea so that we can build in that appreciation when they're at a distance. But that's our blue plate.
Mary Beth, thank you for sharing your stories with me.
Thank you very much.